And so, Double G, what's your opinion about Shallow Days?
I love it. I think it's a great song. Uh, both versions of it are really cool. The acoustic one, but I think it's yeah, I think it's really catchy. It's really good, but I understand why it didn't make August.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen to the acoustic one. I haven't done that. In does anybody know why? By the way, like why did they just release those three songs on the August reissue? That made no sense to me, and I never heard an
Yeah.
explanation.
Yeah, it feels like you could have just got. I mean, it was interesting. Some of the stuff they pulled out, right, was stuff that people hadn't circulated, so that was cool. But yeah, you would think it would make sense to release the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, very, 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 very odd. Okay, so let's go to the next song, "Love and Addiction," which is also on the August reissue. Um, I love this song, and I understand why Adam. It's not perfect. It's I think it's like 80% there or something like that, maybe 75. So, Chris, any guess on what song this reminds me of?
Well, this is Mercury.
Oh, see, oh, for Love and Addiction?
Yeah.
I guess it is. I guess it's more of the lyrics and the way he says it, especially stuff about the dress and putting up your makeup or something. I'm thinking Up All Night.
Oh, okay. There you
Like kind
go.
of that talking to a girl in a little bit of a playful way and and flirty and also speaking. Was that you, that Geoff, that used that term? That I think it comes up a couple times in the demos about a conversational, more of a conversational singing, and I got everything you want, and saying that tongue in cheek, just like Mr. Jones. That I'm gonna right. Like so, Adam. I think when he's speaking to his girl, saying, "Hey, I have everything you want," knowing one that Adam is probably like, "Yeah, I am a good catch, and I do have everything you want." But of course, he also knows, yes, I'm flawed. I'm not everything you want. The only other two things I want to say about this song is, oh, and by the way, it said played once live. I don't know if that's true or if that was one of the fake ones that you said.
I'd be
You can
curious.
check that
That
out.
might be like a 1992. Let me
I
pull it
don't
up.
know if anybody feels this way, but this is one of the lyrics that gives me, I think it's the only lyric on the demo that gives me chills. I have no idea why, but it's this, and someday I'll be president. That gives me the chills for some reason because it has this kind of youthful optimism, but also knowing that's not true. And it just kind of set me back of, I don't know, right? Of, that when you're in college age, which he was about when he made the song, that anything is possible. And he's also, I guess, selling himself to his girlfriend. But I just love it. So Geoff, this should interest you. This is, I guess, it's Charlie, or it's maybe the other keyboardist. But and this comes up with the what's the song on Saturday night with the is it Michelangelo? But anyway, the part where he says, "I sing like a hummingbird," and I hear a little of the hummingbird sound effects, right? And is that, I always forget now? Is that Washington Square or Michelangelo when he says about the birds, and you hear that? All right, I'll think of it. You
Oh,
guys
I
can
think you're
go on.
thinking of Washington Square, the Birds of
Washington
Ballyporeen.
Square, the
Yeah.
Ballyporeen, exactly. And then Charlie comes in with a little bit of bird, and it's funny because I think Adam said he had to like tell him to do that, but it seems like he did that back in Love and Addiction. So, Chris, I'll get your thoughts about what I think might be the strongest song, but that's just my opinion. Love and
I
Addiction.
agree. I agree that I'm with you that of the things that aren't on the record, this might be the strongest. Part of it is, to your point, this feels like it's got so many of the sort of like lyrical concept, like the love and addiction thing, which he used to great effect in Mercury later
Yes,
on,
yes.
and is conceptually in Mercury, but also literally he would. There's an alt of this is not a song about love. This is a song about addiction.
Oh, right,
Um,
right. Yeah.
and and even just to your point, the idea about like someday I'll be president. This sort of delusional thing of like of who you are. I mean, that's kind of you can't count. I mean, just
Yes,
there's
yes,
a
yes.
certain there's so many different things that like are fundamentally in this song.
Yeah, they're
Um,
fundamentally Adam, and why we like
yes,
him as a
the
lyricist.
speaking singing, which by
Yeah.
the way, people are always like, when did he start doing that? And it's like 1991, dude. Like that's part of what he does. And yeah, it's a really fascinating song, and I just yeah, I don't know. I really like that. And again, part of it may just be the idea of like um some of the songs, I think some of the reasons why some of these songs don't work is the lyrics feel a little either like underbaked or a little like Einstein, right? Of sort of like, oh, it's an idea, but it's not really. It's like I don't really mean it, you know. And Adam wanted to, I presume, mean it when he sang it on that first record. This is one where you're like, I think he meant all this stuff. I think it's, or at least could have.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
And even if it's yeah, and I think that might be one of the reasons that he doesn't want to re-record some of this, because I think in this song in particular, it's through the mind of someone who's 22 or something, and he's not 22 anymore. Someday I'll be president is not easy to say when you're 62 or whatever. So even though some of our last presidents have been elected at
you
higher
can keep
ages.
dreaming. We all
Keep
can
dreaming.
keep dreaming.
The,
But the other
yeah.
thing I would note, I do think that play is correct, because that is from a set list of a show that I know exists.
Okay.
Because it's from Slim's in San Francisco in '92. It's been a long time since I went looking for that bootleg, but I probably have it somewhere, and I think that's a real play. So there's one we know of.
Geoff, your thoughts on Love and Addiction?
Well, it was Ernest Hemingway who said that all good writing begins with one true thing. And this song feels true. Sorry, that was actually Adam Duritz from the liner notes of the reissue.
Oh, he wrote that about the song?
Yeah, that's what Adam said.
Oh, I didn't check that liner notes. And
I wanted to sound very deep for a moment, like I was quoting Ernest Hemingway, but I'm actually quoting Adam Duritz, quoting Ernest Hemingway. Yeah, to me, this is one of the, I was talking about Matt's kind of times overplaying on the demos with the fretless bass. And to me, this is probably the best example of that, where it's really driven by this fretless bass. And to me, that I probably don't prefer it because of that. But I have to mention, since it hasn't been mentioned, is Eliza Elizabeth? Is that short for Elizabeth? What's going on here? Is this another Betsy song? What's the story with Eliza? I want to know. We have Mary Jane, but we don't know if he was actually referring to a real person there. Anna begins. We know he was, but this song is to Eliza. And I just wonder if that is Elizabeth or if it's a different Eliza. Who's Eliza? The mystery continues.
Yeah, and I was mad that Kyle Meredith didn't bring up this song. Not that I needed him to bring up all of the demos, but I think we said he focused on, what was it, Shallow Days and
Marjorie,
40 Years
maybe?
and Marjorie. Yeah, or something. Or maybe it was 40 Years and Marjorie. So yeah, I was like, oh, you're going to mention this one. He didn't. Double G, your thoughts on Love and Addiction?
Well, I think, first of all, I don't know if you guys noticed listening to the bootlegs versus the officially released version, besides the difference in audio quality, there's a slight extra verse in the one that they released officially.
Oh.
About the rush of submarines. That's not in the bootleg version.
Oh.
This is why you're here, Double G. This is why we needed you on this show.
I remember the first time when I bought it and I put it in, I was like, oh man, I get to hear these songs sound good, and it caught me way off guard. I was like, that's not in the bootleg version. And it's not much. It's just a couple of lines, but if the song length is a little different. I think it's a really catchy song. I think the bass is incredible in this song. I'm going to assume it's Matt. I'm pretty sure
it must be, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like Matt playing bass here, and it blows me away. Contrary to Geoff over here, I love the fretless. I don't want to start a rivalry, but I think it's I think it's incredible on this song. It's just a fun song to listen to. It doesn't. I never really gave the lyrics too much thought. I kind of think they're a little silly, to be honest with you, but yeah. But I do love the song. I think it's killer. So.
Thank you, Double G. Great. Well, we'll move on to I heard somebody. Sorry, I saw someone on YouTube commenting that there were multiple differences in sound and maybe some other things. Lyrics. You're right. Now that I think about that, I first know of this song because of the August reissue. And I do now remember something about a submarine now that I think about it. But yeah, I haven't listened to these enough to compare. But I did hear people commenting on the differences, and that just interested me too. Like, it's not, not only what songs did they choose, but did they remaster stuff or obviously use a different take in some instances. Okay, so the next two, I guess, I don't know if you want to talk on them back to back. Maybe we should. Why not? Because the next two are the last two that were in August. And that is weird, right? We had the 3 in a row, right? Rain King, Omaha, and Anna Begins, and now 2 in a row, Mr. Jones and Round Here. So do I have thoughts? I don't know. I didn't listen to these much in the last week. I said Mr. Jones, I guess is right, sounded more acoustic-y, and there wasn't as many drums, which is interesting because at least because Bowman talked about he didn't play drums, but there's a big focus on drums of Mr. Jones. I said there was more Charlie shown on this one. I don't remember I'd have to re-listen again. Talked about the background singing girls, which surprised me for the demo. I like the August version better. And then we'll go to do you want to do one by one, Chris, or should I do both?
We can do them both. I mean, I don't have a lot. I mean, the Mr. Jones version, Mr. Jones is interesting because I think that one is, of the songs on August that go on August, that's probably the closest to the final version.
Yeah.
It's a little cleaner, but like that's kind of the song. Round Here, again, it's a similar thing but it's a lot of, again, the sort of the substitutions, right? The synth instead of Dave's strumming at the beginning, the piano, the sort of like synth instead of the more organic like piano and organ sounds of what Charlie plays on the record. And it just, again, some of the speed stuff, like just like, and have a note that Round Here just totally feels too fast at the end. Like
it feels quicker.
Too fast,
I put more free flowing. I'm not sure why I put that, but I did put quicker. And I don't know. I had a note here that I love the bass on this version, but that might be, I don't know, how to do with fretless. I'm not a bass expert. That's why I was asking Matt Malley all these bass questions. I'm kind of interested. Geoff, let's go to you on your take on two of the Crow's most popular songs ever and their demo versions.
Yeah, so Mr. Jones, I mean, I think the one of the real signatures of that song is the opening guitar lick. I mean, which that's all you got to hear. It's that song. One of the most famous guitar licks, or openers of the 90s for sure. It's iconic. As I learned when I was on this podcast, it was not played by anybody in the band. It was played by T-Bone Burnett. And you don't hear it on this demo. So sure enough. And I think because of the way that the guitar is played on here, it's a little bit of almost like a reverse of how it came out. You can tell that T-Bone went in and said, you got to play it this way. And then actually played on it as well. And I think that you can really hear that contribution. And to me, it gives it a very different feel. The other thing is that we know Adam writes songs on piano. We know the story about this song when he, it's very much just a detailed description of his night on the town with Marty Jones. And he went home and wrote it. And it's such a guitar-based song built around a guitar, even on the demo, built around a sort of a guitar line. And so it's interesting to me that for a song that was written on piano, it's so rooted in guitar. And so that's just interesting. It makes me wonder, like, I want to be a fly on the wall when Adam sat down at his apartment that night and wrote this. The other thing,
or did he? That might be the question. Did he actually write this on a piano, or is this something maybe he wrote with Bryson?
No, because he talks about how he went home and wrote it. Now, he writes on piano, and he went home after that night on the town and wrote the song, by himself. So we should look up and see if there's a co-write or a credit on there.
I'm pulling that up because I'm curious now as you're saying this.
Also, this does have, that's interesting and just kind of fun, this little piano vamp at the end on the demo that's kind of fun, and they're laughing and like joking around. There's a weird, kind of a fun little thing that was obviously cut off, but I like that kind of moment on the demo. Just you feel like you're hearing a demo when you hear that.
The kind of stuff that they had on Desert Life, right? A little more of that playfulness between songs.
Just a little bit of the thing in there. What'd you find out, Chris?
Mr. Jones is Durrett's Bryson. And I wonder, to your point about the guitar heaviness, I wonder if Adam had maybe on the piano a real skeleton of a very skeletal thing. And then as he was talking about it with Dave, maybe as the lyrics, he's got the idea in his head. And Dave like, just sort of strumming it like you go, oh, okay, that's that could happen, right? I mean, there's the idea when he say he went home and wrote it, like he might have gone home and like, I think I've got an idea. And who knows to what extent the chords were sort of like fully written out at that point, as opposed to like kind of in his head. And at that point, it's the kind of thing where like we say went home and wrote it. Maybe the next day he's like, Dave, I got an idea. Come over, like.
Yeah, right. And I mean, obviously, if Bryson's got a co-write on the music, then he must have made a key contribution there, because like I said, it is such a guitar song. It'd be interesting to hear like what his original conception was like, like when he did sit down and write it. Yeah, around here, I don't have much to add to that other than, again, you hear the kind of prominence of Matt Malley in that song and his use of a lot of fretless bass and things like that. And just, I agree that the version that they released was more powerful because they kind of slowed it down. They gave it more drama. They gave it more space and things like that. And I certainly prefer where they took that song over its many evolutions from a Himalayas kind of rock tune to what we heard in the final version.
Oh, no, great. Thank you, Geoff. I know it's funny when you say all that because I know that I had Round Here, if you remember, pretty low on my August list, even though most people think it's their top 5 songs. But so I kind of like some of these quicker versions of this. Sometimes I think the real version is a little too dramatic for me, which I know sounds
insane,
like a heretic or whatever. I know I'm awful. So let's go to Double G. Your thoughts on the demo takes on the hits Mr. Jones and Round Here.
Have any of you guys ever heard the demo of this song where it's just Adam on a keyboard?
Oh, there is. You're right. It's like a synthy thing, right? There's like a home demo version.
Can I say cuss words on here?
Go ahead.
I think it's like him on like a crummy Casio, excuse my language, but he's on it's like just him on like a little synth playing it with the chords and everything. So I do think he wrote this on piano, and then I think Bryson probably jumped in and added some, basically the guitar. But I don't know if anybody ever heard that. I have it somewhere.
I have heard that, with the drum machine or whatever.
People forget about that, but that's
it's so weird as to be like you almost like put it out of your brain because you're like, I can't process that. That's the song. So but you're right. Maybe it's just like it's and again, maybe it is the idea that the guitar work once Bryson works with them, sort of forms the song into what it is, as opposed to some weird, again, like a skeleton of like what that song ended up being.
Yeah, it winds up. It's really kind of him almost trying to sound like play the synth like a guitar almost, and it doesn't really work. But it's just him with an idea. I don't think it's him trying to. And then for Round Here, I think it's kind of like they're almost sort of bridging between the Himalayans and August and everything after version of this. Like I think it was Chris said, towards the end, it's like way too fast and like it's like powerful in like the faster rock kind of way and doesn't really work with the song. But you could see that the potential is there for it to be what it's become.
I think that's right. Yeah, great. Well, thank you, Double G. Now we get to the final 5 songs on the, and there's other versions of the demos that have additional tracks and stuff, but we're focusing on the big 13. I guess the official, this is what was actually sent. We think, and we're not sure of the order, but this is at least what we've been told. So the last 5 songs, all of them are not on August, and none of them were released except for What We're Only Love, the last one that was released on the August reissue, right? I'm pretty sure. Is that true?
Oh, I think there's a Marjorie version on the August.
Yeah, I don't.
They released the live one.
It was the live version. There's a live version of Marjorie on it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Something like that.
Soundtrack
okay.
for that.
Oh, yeah. That. Oh, right. No, it's on the bonus disc. Right. Not on the. So that's a live version. Yeah. So, and then maybe We're Only Love is not on. Okay, so I guess it's not. I guess I just had heard that a lot on YouTube or whatever. So let's go to 40 Years next. According to Setlist, played 6 times, which is kind of a unique one. This one grew on me. The first time I heard it, I kind of thought it was one of the weaker ones, and then I don't know. I like it. So what this reminded me of, I know this is going to seem like a stretch, but especially with the lyrics, I actually think that this is where you hear what Imi is not really part of the band yet, because this song I think has the ingredients that if Imi was there, it's a rocker, and there's a guitar solo and like Boxcar Z, and some of the lyrics even reminded me of 1492 and some other things, because you got 40 years to buy. I don't know anything. You got to tell me, guns involved in Counting Crow songs
Yeah.
and kind of violence, and I don't know, but this is one that I think this is when they were more of a acoustical kind of band, right? And even Vickery's not in the band yet. So I think that the bare bones of this song is what would have been in a hard rocker song once the other guitarists are added. And that's all I have to say about that. Chris,
Yeah.
you.
40 Years is one they played. I thought it was more than 6 times, but I think it's one of those things where like those were just very heavily bootleg shows, and so it feels like maybe you heard them. And I think this was the kind of thing that was maybe often used as filler on a bootleg, right? You're like, oh, here's another bonus song because there's that maybe you haven't heard before. It's also interesting. I'm not a huge
Born
fan
in
of the
the
song.
jungle, right? Born in the jungle, born in a good home. Right? In 1492, where he talks about like the history, and it's like I was abandoned, but I had it good. But and this one, like, anyway, I'm filled with white noise, and you can't. Anyway, I never did much anything. It's a little bit of self-hating on here, a little bit, which you didn't get on the other demo songs, I think. But anyway,
yeah. There's also the lyric, "Give me the thunder, give me the rain."
Right.
A is again. That's going to be a recurring theme over the next 30 years. And also, though, that was the name of like some heavily circulating bootleg was "Give Me the Thunder, Give Me the Rain," which I think was probably something I think mostly collected stuff like this of like songs that weren't released.
And he has the line, "I want to get me a good wife," and he did not know at the time that would take him 35 years.
35 years,
the math correctly, yeah. Exactly. So, but dreams do come true. And then he talks about a garden. I'm hoping he has one there in New York in his apartment.
He does, doesn't he? He calls that area with the astroturf and his apartment the garden. So he did get a garden.
All right, cool.
Where Sunday mornings was demoed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Geoff, your thoughts about 40 Years?
Well, we can't forget memory, right? Which he mentions in this song. Yeah. One of his favorite topics. We got the elephant memory in this one.
That's true.
Not much to add. I think that this is like a really great rockin' song. I was texting these guys a couple of weeks ago and saying, you have to listen to the Flamin' Groovies Yesterday's Numbers from 1971. It is literally the exact same chords, I think in the same key. And I really do wonder if that's one of the reasons they were like, I will tell you that from the things that I've read, Adam gets asked about this song. He hates this song. He really, really doesn't like this song.
Oh, that's true? Okay.
Which I disagree. I actually love the music. Even I think they just borrowed the very opener of the Flamin' Groovies song and like turned it into their own song. And I think it's great. I love it musically. Lyrically, maybe it's not, it's like Adam clearly doesn't like it, but with some new lyrics, I think this is a great piece of music. This is one that I would have loved to hear them develop for like Saturday nights and Sunday mornings, for example. Like, all right, Adam, throw out the lyrics if you don't like them. Let's just start again, but let's take this great piece of music and turn it into a showpiece, because I just think it's really it really rocks. I love it. Yeah, I love the music a lot, and the lyrics don't bother me. But if Adam doesn't like them, he can get rid of them and write something new.
Double G, your thoughts on 40 Years?
Yeah, it's funny, like in the Kyle Meredith interview and a couple others where he talked about songs like Shallow Days, saying it's a 2-minute catchy whatever song, but it's stretched out to 5 minutes. There's no way to change it. And I always think to myself, you have that with this song with 40 Years is exactly what you're describing. It's a really catchy, like fun song. It's 2 minutes and 20 seconds or whatever it is. I think it's really good. I love the ending of it. The lyrics are, again, kind of silly, but it's
all right. Cool. Let's move on to what I guess I would call next to Einstein. I guess those are the two. So Marjorie is the song. Marjorie Dreams of Horses. So I think Einstein and Marjorie are the most, I guess, legendary songs on this that I had heard about a lot, even without really listening to the demos, right? Because the other 5 were on the August. and but I kept hearing about this Marjorie, and then then Another Horse Dreamer's Blues was the sequel, and all this stuff. And this is also unique because, according to Setlist, was played. So I think one of the reasons that you hear about it a lot is because all of these fans that saw them a lot saw it live, and it said it was played 41 times. So, because I actually think, hot take, Eric's hot take, I think it's the weakest of all of these songs on the demo, in my opinion. It's my least favorite song. But it's a fan favorite. People want him to redo it. Obviously, you got asked about it by Kyle Meredith. I guess I just think it needs to be reworked, and I understand. What did Adam say? He didn't like the chorus, right?
There's kind of a lack of a chorus, and it's sort of an like I kind of get what Adam says about this song.
Yes, I do.
Which is that, because I, as someone who writes sketch a lot, I sometimes have this problem, right, where you have something that sort of works. You're like, this works. Something about this works, but you're like, it doesn't work. Like, it's missing. It's not in the right. But then you try to reconstruct it, and in trying to fix it, you lose. You're like, oh, I've somehow stripped what was good about this in fixing it. And I can imagine them trying to sort of fix this song in certain ways, whatever they feel are the exact holes in a certain sense, and kind of going, well, now it's gone. Something's gone. I can feel that. I do think as like, again, like, this is, I think the playing here is pretty good. I think that's one of the reasons why people like it, especially the live version. Obviously, that's a spot for Vickery to sort of showcase himself a little bit on that tour. So I think that's maybe one of the reasons why people want to go back to it. And again, there's the admission that they went back to it for Recovering the Satellites. I think we'd all be very interested to hear the Recovering the Satellites version. That'd be interesting.
And then he said that, on Kyle Meredith, that this is the one song that he admitted going back to, he said, a quote unquote, a few years ago or something, by himself, and trying to. And then that's when I used the, I think I said it actually on the podcast with Geoff, and I said, I believe that, and he might be correct, but I can almost guarantee that if he did that and locked himself up with Emmy and Jim and Charlie, I bet you they could come up with something. I really do.
Maybe
so.
I would also, here's one interesting place is we talk about, like, the way Adam's voice sounds very different to me on the demo version.
Yeah,
like higher, like it does not sound. It sounds very different. Other thing I would note is that relative to some of the versions that the songs ended up on August, this one sounds like it has more of the August sound already. Like, some of that space is there. The song does breathe in a way that you can almost hear them taking, okay, maybe something about the way we're doing this, maybe if we kind of translate it to the other ones, you can kind of feel that this one gets closer to me to the August sound, interestingly, even though it's one that ends up getting left off August and, forgotten.
Geoff, your thoughts on, by the way, but all you can talk about this, and Chris, I didn't make the connection. Is there a lot of lyrical, can someone explain the lyrical connections or the story connections between this and Another Horse? I guess that's just about Marjorie, but I don't know if there's any.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious thing is Marjorie's dreaming of horses in the middle of the day, right?
Right.
And the little song is called Marjorie Dreams of the other horses. Song is called Marjorie Dreams of Horses. So there's something kind of connection there, but I'm with you that it's not
entirely clear, right?
Entirely clear what the exact connection is in terms of Marjorie and her story.
Maybe she goes to meet Einstein on the beach later, as Geoff would say, and I don't know. Uses horses to start a war and drink Diet Coke, whatever. Okay, so Geoff, let's go to you about Marjorie.
Yeah, it's interesting. They played 3 songs a lot on the August tour that they revisited for Recovering the Satellites. 2 of them, Children in Bloom and Goodnight Elizabeth, made it onto that album. And this one, for some reason, did not, but was kind of rethought and reimagined. This is another one where I'm like, what is this song about? The lyrics are cool, but I'm like, what is this song about? I still have absolutely no idea what he is singing about on this song. I think in some ways the chorus sounds more like a Counting Crows song about Marjorie. It's about this woman, and she's giving him a hard time. And then this other thing, I'm not sure what this song is about. I think it's a cool song, and I like it. I think the other thing worth mentioning is that some thought it was like a sequel or prequel to Anna Begins, because Anna is mentioned in the song as well. It's not just Marjorie in here. We've got Anna in there as well. And so there's some sort of connection. But yeah, ultimately, I've said this before. I think Horse Dreamers is another Horse Dreamers Blues is one of their absolutely greatest songs, a total masterpiece. I love it. So if it took getting rid of this song to get rid of that, or to get to that song, then I'm perfectly happy with that decision. I think it's a good song, and it's cool that they did have released it as a live cut, and it shows up in the documentary and things like that, because it is a neat song. But yeah, it's I guess there was one concert where they played both of the Horse Dreamer songs. I would love to hear them redo this one in concert, just for nostalgia's sake.
I didn't catch, even though I've heard this song maybe 8 to 10 times. I don't even think I caught the Anna.
I look back at Anna. Yeah.
I looked up at Anna. I looked up at Anna. She turned back to look at me. That's best to kill the ones that matter, render blind the ones who see. Whatever you want to take from there.
Kyle Meredith mentioned this song.
The other thing I would note, by the way, Geoff, you said the chorus to the song. If you look at the lyrics, there's no recognized chorus. What is the chorus? Isn't it like the
"Oh, Marjorie, she's got taken inside of me" or whatever, you know? I mean, Adam said there's no chorus, but whatever that part that he sings there sounds like something he would sing in another song. The rest of it, I'm like, I don't know. We're in a river or somewhere. There's water and we got some horses, I guess.
Kyle Meredith had kind of an indirect comment because he's at public radio based in, I think, Louisville, but I know it's in Kentucky.
Yeah,
and I think he stayed in Kentucky, and he almost like joked to Adam, like, Omaha gets their song, California gets this, Virginia Through the Rain, like this was the Kentucky song, and you didn't officially release it. Like, there's mentions, come on, you mentioned Lexington, cut me a break. Double G to you, Marjorie.
Yeah, Marjorie's one of my favorite songs. I love it. So it's kind of sad to hear that you don't like it, but I feel like if the Recovering the Satellites version was the one released, it would probably be a fan favorite. I think that recording that they did for Recovering the Satellites that supposedly has Mellotron, is more electric, that's been missing for 30-something years, although I hear rumors that they may have found it. I think I know who has it if they haven't, so tell their management to reach out to me. I can help them out. But I do know, if you watch the documentary, they do a quick, in the beginning, they pan through some tapes, labeled tapes. And on there are two versions of Marjorie that were recorded during the, for the demos. I don't know if one's acoustic, but it's something about the intro being different on each one. I don't know. I would really love to hear the Recovering the Satellites version, like Chris said. And I mean, if I have it my way, I will someday, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and you made a good point, because Kyle was trying to ask him about those, but Adam spoke very vague generalities, big picture, not specific about particular songs, like you said. Plus, we have those the missing horn songs, right? That
Streamers Blues and such.
Yeah,
he said that his main contention, I guess, with this song is that there's not a chorus, but I don't know if he's ever heard of a song called John Appleseed's Lament, which also doesn't have a chorus. Is on an album.
As soon as you said that, I was thinking there are, I think, yeah, you're right. I know that there might be more, right? I kind of think that there might be 2 or 3 songs that don't really have choruses for.
So I call malarkey on Adam on that one.
That's true. Thank you. And I love Johnny Appleseed's Lament, but there is no chorus on that one. There's no chorus about Johnny digging up the trees or whatever. Okay, great. Thank you. 3 more songs to go. Next one, Bulldog. And all of the last 3 songs, according to the set list, have never been played live. So we only have these versions. I don't have much here. I did like this. It wasn't my favorite, but I did like it. I don't know if it's bluesy or there's something in there, the sound that a little different. To me, and I think I'm the only one that had this album. I remember I used to be a big Toad the Wet Sprocket fan, and their kind of last semi-successful album was Coil, where they kind of try to go a little more electric, but still have the Toad sound. And to me, this sounds like one of the deep cuts from there. Not a particular song, but the entire feel of an album. So it feels kind of 90s-ish to me. I like it, but not much to say. Chris, Bulldog.
Yeah, I don't have much on this one either. I noticed the again, the sort of this one has a distinction between love and need, which sounds like the less eloquent way of talking about love and addiction. But yeah, this one just kind of passes by me a little bit.
A reference to Angels, a reference to California. I'm just quickly looking.
There's a woman's name, Louise.
That's true, Louise.
Right?
Louise, Mary, Jane, Parker,
Eliza,
yeah, Mary Louise.
We got
Parker,
Anna,
Potter.
we got Eliza, we got Marjorie, we got
That's
Louise.
true. That's funny. Geoff, to you, anything else about Bulldog?
Yeah, not much. I agree. I think out of all of and didn't this one get released also on the reissue in 2007? No, it's not on there?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay. All right. My bad. Yeah, to me, out of all of the flying demos and unreleased songs, this to me is the kind of least compelling of them all. It's very 80s sounding. You got that heavy chorus processed guitar. You've got a lot of this fretless bass and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, to me, the only other thing I would say is that one of the all-time worst Beatles songs is called Hey Bulldog. Even the Beatles are capable of writing a dud, and they've got one. It's called Hey Bulldog. So, the connection here is there are two bands with kind of dud songs with a bulldog in the title, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay, let's double G, Bulldog.
I don't want anyone to be misled who listens to this podcast here. For other dog lovers out there, this song is not actually about a dog, which is disappointing to you. If you get into the song hoping that to hear about the story about a dog, it's not there.